Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Tuesday evening. As always, we bring in news, community stories, economics, weather, and sports. I am Glenora Shipura. Getting into the news tonight, Rudolf Shamungula from Leonardville has criticized Carla Schleitwein, the agriculture minister who left and returned to Windhoek just after the opening of a stakeholder meeting on the planned in situ uranium mining in the Stembridge Basin. Several other community members have boycotted the technical discussion and were sitting outside the hall. The media was also locked out of the meeting. Jemima Biekers was there and reports.
I'm Rudolf. I'm standing outside the hall where the meeting is taking place. I'm not inside because the Honorable Minister is back to Windhoek, so there is no need for me to be in the meeting because the questions that have popped up, I believe he has to answer some of these questions. But then if he's not around, what is the need? Let's see how many kilos we have traveled.
From where did you come?
From Leonardville. And for this meeting, and it's very important, and we, the Leonardvillians, want to hear from the minister what he is saying about this at the end of the day. But if he's not here, what's the need for us to be here, sitting, listening to the other speeches and so on?
But there are technical staff from the ministry. Don't you think they should suffice?
But then the last decision-making body is the minister. That he is the one who has to say something in front of us, in our ears, for us to hear what the minister is feeling or saying about this, for us to take it from that angle to make further steps towards probably what we can say the best of the best.
Getting to our next story, Namibia is set to review its Tobacco Products Control Act of 2010, and a week-long workshop has kicked off in Swakopmund to aid in this process. The workshop aims to review the Act, identify gaps in its administrative, legal, and regulatory provisions, and strengthen tobacco control in Namibia. At the official opening ceremony, Dr. Laimi Ashipala, on behalf of Dr. Richard Banda, the WHO representative for the Namibia Country Office, highlighted that although Namibia's conventional tobacco smoking has been on a downward trend, there has been a significant increase in the use of novel tobacco products such as e-cigarettes, vapes, and more. In the Namibian context, the practice of tobacco use is more common among Namibian men than women. 90% of men smoke cigarettes or a pipe compared to 5% of women. The likelihood of a man smoking cigarettes or a pipe increases with age from 6% among those aged 15 to 19 years to a range between 21 and 24% among older men. Further explaining the dangers of these novel tobacco products, Ashipala noted that while these products contain no tar, which causes cancer, they do contain higher levels of nicotine, which is addictive. She added that to avert this public health threat, the government has taken steps to implement tobacco control measures in line with the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. Getting to our next story, in an effort to address the backlog of over 5,000 applications, the Tsumeb municipality is currently servicing over 300 plots. This was confirmed by Tsumeb Mayor Matthews Hangula, who said that the process commenced last year. The land servicing project is taking place at Tsumeb's Extension 9. We are servicing over 300 plots at Extension 9. The servicing started last year. We have already appointed the contractor to put up the electricity roads as well as sewer and water, Hangula said. The contractor for sewer is busy with the treatment plant, hence going forward, the issue of bacteria being detected will be a story of the past. On the issue of the housing backlog, Hangula said that the council is faced with over 5,000 land applications, hence the effort to service plots and reduce the number. Over the years, it has been reported on how people have been occupying land illegally in Tsumeb, which has resulted in the establishment of informal settlements. 2 years ago, Namibian Sun reported on how Tsumeb, which has over the years experienced massive land grabbing as a result of land scarcity, handed over nearly 200 land occupation certificates to residents. Steenkamp said the Education Act stipulates that every learner has the right to be taught in any language of their choice. The Education Ministry Executive Director Sanet Steenkamp has shot down Professor Job Amopanda's claim that private schools are neglecting teaching indigenous languages to opt for Afrikaans and other foreign languages. Amopanda, who recently wrote a letter to President Nangolo Mbumba proposing the implementation of a policy requiring all private schools in the country to teach indigenous languages. Additionally, he suggested that the Education Ministry develop and adopt a multilingual approach to language teaching that recognizes and values indigenous languages within 2 years. Many Namibian parents choose to send their children to private schools, which often do not teach indigenous languages. This perpetuates the colonial legacy and disconnects Namibians from their languages and cultures. It leads to a desire to emulate the colonizers, a disconnect detrimental to achieving true post-colonial objectives, Amopanda said. No school should be exclusionary. In response, Steenkamp said Amopanda ought to do research as the Constitution does not allow for discrimination when it comes to which languages schools should implement. She said all curricula are approved by the Examination and Assessment Boards, and the Education Ministry strictly follows the Constitution and Education Act. You can read these stories and more in the Namibian Sun tomorrow. That concludes our top stories. On the other side of the break, we take a look at our story of the day.
MyZone presents MyZone Schools Esports Competition.
Still possibilities.
Round 1, 3, 2, 1.
We have 50 minutes to go. Caution.
Yeah, no surprise there. That was always going to be a booking.
From deep three-point range, Green with the
Join us on the 27th of July at the MTC Innovation Hub for an action-packed day of esports excitement.
Roman Hladunyak, director of Europlant Mining, a Swiss energy company with uranium exploration licenses in the Stamford Basin, has asked the Namibian government for guidance on whether they should continue operations. Europlant also uses the in-situ leaching method, which has raised pollution concerns similar to those that led to Russian Rosatom's Namibian subsidiary being denied water permits. Let's take a look.
Switzerland-based, but we also got some EPLs here from Ministry of Mines. But currently, and we have already invested like almost $1 million, but we are now stuck because we cannot drill because nobody gives us permission to even start exploring. But drilling, it has nothing to do with uranium before you just see what the soil is, right? And what's underneath. But we cannot do right now anything because we cannot understand whether it will stop as soon as we spend more money or what's going to happen. So my question is, what should we as investors do? Because we have EPLs, we're paying for EPLs land tax and usage and all that stuff, but everything else is basically on pause. And we have money to invest, we have money for people to have the salaries, for doing their jobs as drillers, as lab consultants, as lab workers, but we cannot do anything because we understand that both like this WINGS project, yeah, we can achieve some state at which we will be paused for we don't know how many years or months. So my question is like, should we stay, should we wait for something, or should we just pay for the land until like EPLs be taken away and that's it, and nothing happens? That's my question.
In our community talk after the break, we take a look at the One Economy Foundation. One Economy Foundation, a social welfare organization, held a youth skills development training for 35 individuals at the Ngandu Hotel in Rundu. The training aims to empower those who have dropped out of school with the skills and knowledge necessary for securing long-term employment or launching their businesses by providing comprehensive training in fields such as beaded jewelry, mat, and candle making. According to the organization's head of communication, Eleni Hitula, as a catalyst, the One Economy Foundation champions pathways to a common economic future where everyone thrives. At the forefront of this goal is the Youth Opportunity Pillar, which empowers young people to build lasting, successful ventures. By nurturing the development and execution of these ventures, the YO fosters a sustainable ecosystem where businesses can blossom, driving a lasting wave of economic empowerment, he said. Hitula added that following the skills development training, the group will move on to Generate Your Business Idea training, a thorough training program designed to provide young people with the skills and knowledge necessary to launch and manage successful businesses. Through this training, participants will be able to develop feasible business concepts that are ready for implementation. This training method will generate the newly acquired skills into a practical roadmap for his or her specific business idea, he said. According to Economic News, BON and DBN forge partnership to boost Namibia's economic growth. We take a look at this after the break.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
In our economic news, the Bank of Namibia and the Development Bank of Namibia have signed a 3-year memorandum of understanding to bolster economic growth and development in Namibia. The agreement signed on Monday aims to leverage the combined expertise and resources of the Bank of Namibia and DBN to achieve sustainable economic development and social welfare for Namibians. The MOU establishes a framework for cooperative engagement, facilitating collaboration on initiatives that promote economic growth and development in Namibia, which includes sharing relevant data and information, conducting joint research, organizing economic seminars, and working on projects that address specific developmental challenges. Leonie Dan, Deputy Governor of the BON, said the MOU represents more than just a partnership on paper. It reflects a shared vision of fostering economic growth, supporting sustainable development, and addressing developmental challenges in Namibia. That concludes our economic news. Let's take a look at our financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 22.95, against the euro at 19.43, against the US dollar at 18.09, 2 Namibian dollars and 49 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, gold and Brent crude oil went up, while platinum and copper went down. Brent crude oil trading at 0.64%, going for $85.08 per barrel. In international news, Biden to give legal status to undocumented spouses. To stay with us.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. www.ipenge.com.na.
You're still watching Sunset News. Let's take a look at our international news. President Joe Biden is set to announce a new policy that will protect hundreds of thousands of undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens from deportation. According to administration officials, the action will apply to those who have been in the country for at least 10 years and will allow them to work in the U.S. legally. It marks the most significant relief program for undocumented migrants already in the U.S. since the Obama administration announced the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival in 2012. The White House believes more than 500,000 spouses of U.S. citizens will benefit, in addition to 50,000 young people under 21 whose parent is married to an American citizen. Earlier in June, Mr. Biden vowed to make the U.S. immigration system more fair and more just. Polls show that immigration is a primary concern for many voters ahead of the presidential election this November. The announcement comes ahead of an event on Tuesday marking the 12th anniversary of the DACA program, which shielded over 530,000 migrants who came to the U.S. as children, known as Dreamers, from deportation. On Monday, senior administration officials said that undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens would qualify if they had lived in the country for 10 years and been married as of the 17th of June. Those who qualify will have 3 years to apply for permanent residency and will be eligible for a 3-year work permit. On average, the White House believes that those eligible for the process have been in the U.S. for 23 years. A majority will have been born in Mexico. They will be paroled in place and allowed to remain in the U.S. while their status is changed. That concludes our international news. We now take a look at the weather updates after the break.
Voting now open. The Best of 061 Express Followers' Choice Awards. By voting, you stand a chance to win your share of 50,000 Namibian dollars in cash. From the 4th to the 23rd of June 2024. Do you know the best of the best in Windhoek? It's time to recognize them. Living in Windhoek, DIY home improvement. Glam it up, eating out, food, drinks, and be merry. Services, automotive, shopping, babies and kids, and travel and leisure. To vote, save the number 085 785 6231 and WhatsApp hashtag 061 Express or scan the QR code.
Let's take a look at our weather predictions for tomorrow. Katima Mulilo can expect a minimum of 10 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius with sunny weather conditions. Oshakati can expect a minimum of 11 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius with sunny weather conditions as well. Handys Bay can expect a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 18 degrees Celsius. Rehoboth can expect a minimum of 8 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius, while Keetmanshoop can also expect a minimum of 8 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius with sunny weather conditions. Areohad will be bringing us the sports news, but first, a quick ad break.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with soccer news first. It's Euro 2024, the best teams in Europe, 24 of them playing in Germany in the Euro 2024 tournament. And a big result for Slovakia. Slovakia, big surprise, they beat Belgium by 1-0. That's still in the group phases, that is Group F. And it is Belgium that is number 3 in the world, and they played against Slovakia, that's number 48 in the world. So a big surprise in the first round. Not all lost for Belgium. They still need to play against Romania and Ukraine, and they can still advance to the next stage, but they need to beat both Romania and Ukraine. Also surprised there when Romania beat Ukraine by quite comfortably by 3-0. That is all in Group F. In Group D, also latest games that was played, it was France with a good win against Austria. It was a tough game for them, but they beat them in Düsseldorf. The score there was 1-0. And also in Group D, it was the Netherlands also off to a winning start. They beat Poland by 2-1. Continuing international sports news with T20 Cricket World Cup that continues in the West Indies. The home team finishing off their round-robin games. They beat Afghanistan convincingly by 104 runs. It was the West Indies that scored 218 for the loss of 5 runs, or 5 wickets rather, and it was Nicholas Pooran. He was a very good form. He scored 98 runs, just short of his 100 off just 53 deliveries. Afghanistan battled to get close to that score. They only made 114 all out. That was in the 17th over. And then also New Zealand played their last round-robin game. They're not part of the last 8 of the tournament, and they beat Papua New Guinea by 7 wickets. It was Papua New Guinea that only scored 78, and the great achievement there was Lockie Ferguson, the bowler for New Zealand. He bowled 4 overs, didn't concede any runs in 4 overs. That's never happened before, and he took 3 wickets. It was New Zealand that scored the winning runs. They scored 79 for the loss of only 3 wickets to win that game. And to close off today's international sports news, it is tennis news. It is the Berlin Open for women that started. It's a part of the WTA Tour. It's been played on grass and it's leading up to Wimbledon. The Wimbledon winner of 2023, Marketa Vondrousova, she's one of the favorites in the tournament. She's starting a grass campaign in the first round game against Rebecca Masova. She is from Spain. And also there's 8 of the top 10 women's players in the world playing in this tournament. The 2 players in the top 10 that's not playing is Iga Swiatek. She won the French Open recently. She's taking a rest. And then also Jasmine Paolini. She's also not playing in the tournament. Other big interesting first round game will be Naomi Osaka that play the number 6 seed in the tournament. That is Zhang Qinwen from China. It is Naomi Osaka that continues a comeback to international tennis. She's won 4 majors before, so she's quite an accomplished player, but was out of action for more than a year. That was because of injury and also for the birth of her first child. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we'll talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
MyZone presents MyZone Schools Esports Competition.
Still possibilities.
Round 1, 3, 2, 1.
We have 50 minutes to go. Caution.
Yeah, no surprise there. That was always going to be a booking.
From deep three-point range, Green with the
Join us on the 27th of July at the MTC Innovation Hub for an action-packed day of esports excitement.
And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Don't forget that Sunset News screens on all our NMH social media platforms and on our website, oneup2.com, and on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Glenna Rashipura, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.